positions. He's now been on the inside of the front row with the Repsol Honda V4 since the Italian Grand Prix, and today he goes for what would be his 9th consecutive win. It would be his 11th of the season and would equal Giacomo Agostini's all-time record for single-season victories.
500s on the grid. The sun was blazing down, and there was Alex Criville on the second row. His return to the Grand Prix class. 22 laps for them all to complete, though. Michael Doohan again on the pole position, his 9th consecutive pole position, ahead of Cadalora, Bale and Beatty. A Honda, a Yamaha, a Medenas 3-cylinder, and Daryl Beatty's Lucky Strike Suzuki. Ahead of the other Yamaha of Gibernau, Honda of Checker, Alex Criville's other Honda there, just on the second row. That was the warm-up, that though. Bale is coming into the pits. He's got a problem with his 3-cylinder machine, which means that he won't be starting from the front row of the grid, so it's just the 3 on the front row. Doohan gets a good start. Cadalora is trying to keep up there. Beatty's well up there. He's got a clear road ahead of him as they charge down to the first corner for the first time, and indeed it is. It's Daryl Beatty that leads from Michael Doohan. There's a Yamaha of Sete Gibernau in 3rd position, closely followed by his own teammate Norik Abe, but Doohan is immediately into the lead. Doohan now leads from Luca Cadalora, and Borja's got a problem. He's obviously had contact with somebody on the first few laps, and also Checker has got a problem. He's into the pits. He's got a deflating front tyre, some sort of a problem there, and he fails to finish again for the 4th time in a row in 97. He can feel the championship points slipping out of his grasp. Doohan though, and Okada has come up into 2nd position, now ahead of Luca Cadalora. Bale, his race gets from bad to worse, and it stops at worst because he retires, unfortunately, off the 3-cylinder Medenas. Nobuatsu Aoki, he comes up into 3rd position ahead of Luca Cadalora's Yamaha. In the meantime, Doohan and Okada are further down the road. Somebody goes down the road, literally speaking, grinding its way across the tarmac. That's Jürgen Fuchs's L500. However, this is the battle, red-hot battle for 5th position, and it has been won by Alex Criville at the moment. Alex Criville gets Norifumi Abe down another position. So this train of 4 are really reeling in the Aoki and Cadalora battle that just go through your screen there. So then, Alex Criville on his return missed 5 Grand Prix. There's his team engineer, Gilles Bigot, just looking at the timing screen and looking at the TV pictures, and he sees that at the front of the field it's his own teammate, Tadej Okada, who comes up into the lead, past Michael Doohan, gets a real slingshot of a run out of turn 9 as he came through the lowest part of the track. Now we're on board with Tadej Okada. We're looking backwards at Michael Doohan, the sun glinting off all of the bodywork. Doohan looks at, oh, he's up on the inside into the left hand around the stadium complex. Brave maneuver by that. Look at Tadej Okada. He's got that rear end squirreling like some live fish on land by the time he's trying to get back up with Doohan. Now somebody goes on the road. Gibernau. Sete Gibernau falls out of the race off his Yamaha rainy run machine. He does get slowly back on his feet and realizes that the machine is still running, and he gets the kill switch. If they get any gravel in the cylinders, it plays havoc, and he can easily ruin an engine. Aoki, now this is the battle for... It's going to be 2nd because Okada goes down the road. Tadej Okada falls from a potential win here this afternoon. He tries to get the machine back up and running, but it looks as if it's going to be very second-hand indeed. So then this is a replay. Doohan and Okada. Okada number 7 comes up on the inside, and the front just tucks. He gets off, should I say, the racing line onto the marbles on the outside. And that is it. He goes down into the gravel, trying to stop himself, trying to run back to the machine as soon as possible. So that now has promoted the battle of 3rd to 2nd between Cadalora and Nobuatsu Aoki. Doohan, though, realizes that he is going to win this race, another race win in 1997. So this is the battle for 2nd position. It's between Nobuatsu Aoki and Luca Cadalora. Cadalora's still got the advantage ahead of Aoki, but Alex Criville is there, and he's got Norik Abe there as well. This is the battle for 2nd, I remind you. It's Cadalora on the Yamaha. No problems, though, for Michael Doohan on his Honda. He wins another race in 1997. The world champion absolutely dominant again this year. So this is the battle for 2nd. It looks as if it is going to be won by Luca Cadalora. Cadalora gets second, Aoki gets third position, and Alex Criville gets a fantastic fourth position on his return to Grand Prix racing after his horrific hand injuries. As you can see, just 0.2 of a second off the podium there, just ahead of Norikabe and Takuma Aoki. Regis Laconi, brilliant 7th position for the French. So Doohan battles it out on the podium as well with Luca Cadalora, who gives the Australian a complete soaking with the champagne. Well, Doohan, he's won all but one race, and with that tally of 295 points, he's ahead of the championship. Further down, though, Cadalora takes 4th away from Criville, but there's only 1 point between them.
You know, everything worked really well. Today was a bit of a gamble on the race setup. Mine wasn't all that good. My tyres were spinning from quite early on. So I let Okada by because he was just hounding me and just could see what he was doing. He could run pretty quick by himself, but I could see that after a few laps he didn't know where the braking point was, and I was closing quite a lot on him under brakes. So I felt his bike was quite a bit quicker than mine, and I had to make a move underneath him with a couple of laps to go, just so I had that in hand. And thankfully he made a mistake because I think just pushing too hard, but you know, this is what I'm saying about bike settings. It seems strange how he can set his bike so good in 20 minutes. I wish there was a little bit more secrecy in the teams.
On to round 13 of 15 in the FIM World Motorcycling Championships. It's the Catalunya Grand Prix in northern Spain, just on the outskirts of the city of Barcelona. Hosted the 1992 Olympics, of course. Sport very much still in the city's blood. The Circuit of Catalunya, purpose-built, just under 3 miles in length, one of the busiest Grand Prix of the year. Look at that paddock, absolutely chock-a-block full of the transporters and all the hospitality and all of the motorhomes. Lucky Strike Suzuki this weekend have only got one rider in the shape of Daryl Beattie, because Anthony Gobert off the number 23 machine tested positive in a doping test after the British Grand Prix. That was 2 races ago, and he has been officially dismissed from the team. Spanish flamenco dancer Joaquin Cortez was a welcome guest in the Barcelona paddock. He went into the Repsol Honda garage to see Alex Criville. Also with the Spanish riders, this time with Carlos Checa, was 5-time Tour de France cycling star Miguel Indurain.
Mick Doohan came into the Grand Prix of Catalunya working on a string of 9 consecutive pole positions. He needed only one more to break a record set by Freddie Spencer back in 1985. Kenny Roberts Jr., who rode in the Spanish 250 championships before starting his Grand Prix career, knows this track, and it shows. He was 7th on Friday, hoped to improve with new parts shipped in from the States, but was just dropped back to 8th place on Saturday. Riding in considerable pain, Alex Criville, Repsol Honda, who won here in 1995 and who's the only rider to have beaten Mick Doohan this season, putting a strong Friday qualifying performance, taking 3rd, but was relegated to 7th on Saturday. Yamaha have won at least one race in at least one class at Grand Prix level for each of the last 34 years, but they haven't had a win yet this year. Luca Cadalora won here in 1994 on a Yamaha. He was the quickest qualifier for the mark on his Red Bull Yamaha. He was 6th on the tour. Tadayuki Okada, only in his 2nd year in 500, has already become the Japanese rider with the most career 500 podiums. He has 10. His goals for the remainder of the season: to secure 2nd place in the championship. Here he runs off the grass in practice, but came back on, and also to win that first elusive Grand Prix. Doriano Romboni, whose name has been linked with Ducati for 1998, says he wants to stay in Grand Prix racing and in 500, but he wants a stronger commitment from Aprilia for 1998. He was fourth on the 480cc Aprilia V Twin. This will be his second front row start of the season. Nobuatsu Aoki on the Rayos Elf FCC Technical Sports Honda is currently sitting second in the points table with a slim 6-point lead over Repsol Honda's Tadayuki Okada. He was a lowly 13th on Friday, but roared back to take third best time for a front row start on Saturday. Last year's winner of the Grand Prix of Catalunya, Carlos Checa, the movie star Honda Pons, crashed in the Friday qualifying session while testing an experimental Michelin front tire, but then came back in the last session on Saturday to take second, a tenth of a second off the pole. He was fortunate not to be hurt in this high-speed crash. Mick Doohan continued his hot streak. He took his 10th consecutive pole position, breaking Freddie Spencer's long-standing record set back in 1985. He was first on Friday, first again on Saturday, the first rider in recorded Grand Prix history to take 10 straight poles.
Race first though, Michael Doohan comes up to his #1 spot and stopped right in front of our camera. The mechanics hold on to the bike whilst they make the final adjustments. Jerry Burgess there on the right-hand side. He's masterminded Michael Doohan for that 4th consecutive World Championship that he knocked his Donington Park 2 Grand Prix ago. He's on the pole ahead of Checa, Nobuo Aoki and Doriano Romboni. 3 Hondas and then an Aprilia with Romboni on the outside of that front row. Then Tadayuki Okada's Honda. Yamaha of Cadalora, the Honda of Criville. Doohan is chopping and changing, waiting to go. They do go. He lets off the brakes and they charge down to the first corner. Second row man, Tadayuki Okada, #7. Looks as if he's got the best start of all though. Okada's going to lead into the first corner, but Nobuo Aoki is up on the inside. Aoki leads then from Okada. Then there is, that's Alex Criville in third position. What a demon start from the Spaniard. He is there as the rest of the field comes streaming through. Then we look back to see Jean-Michel Bale, Darrell Beattie, and then finally Fred Protat bringing up the rear of the field. Doohan, we're on board with him. We're looking forward to Alex Criville in third position, but he's not in third for much longer because he's up into second position. He takes Nobuatsu Aoki, but Criville, he's on a charge. Alex Criville leads the race now ahead of Tadayuki Okada, Michael Doohan, Nobuatsu Aoki on the blue Honda, and then the yellow #3 machine. That is of Luca Cadalora, and he's just lost out to Nobuo Aoki. So then, it's Criville from Doohan, from Aoki. It's as fast as that as they tip it into the right-hander, the long hairpin bend. There we are looking at the rear wheel up the tailpipe of Alex Criville. He comes into the left-hander, tipping it in nicely so. We're looking back at the camera that was looking at us a second ago, now of Michael Doohan. Coming out of the stadium area, over the small crest of the hill, and then they begin to drop down the hill towards the long start-finish straight. In the meantime, they've completed another lap. Criville from Doohan, from Checa now, who's up in the third position, from Nobuatsu Aoki. Fastest they come as they go into the left-hander. Alex Criville, #2. He won this race 2 years ago. There is Jean-Michel Bale, though. He's a retirement off his 3-cylinder Medenas. He talks things through with engineer Warren Willing. Doohan is up on the inside and past Alex Criville. So Doohan is in the lead now. His arch-rival Criville, the battle that they raged so hard between them last year, is coming into effect this year. Oh, Carlos Checa up on the inside, up into second place. So Alex Criville goes from first to third in 2 corners. I hope he's not going to go backwards for too long, because otherwise it'll let all the other people through. Alex, that's his pit ball, plus nothing to Michael Doohan. That means that there's no time behind you to Doohan, but it's already too late because Doohan and Checa's in the lead now. Carlos Checa up into the lead, nicely, smoothly so, done on the brakes into turn 1. Doohan now into second position, #1. #2 then Criville, still hounding the Australian. as they go around. Well, indeed, they're going down the front straightaway. We're looking forward from Doohan, streaking under our camera at 190 miles an hour. Doohan now has it from Carlos Checa, but Checa's trying to be late on the brakes into the right-hander. Doohan shifts his weight over to the right-hand side. Alex Barros, the Brazilian, unfortunately falls off his Honda V-twin. He was in 10th position, battling it out for 9th, though. Just got it all wrong. Nobody's got it wrong, though, at the front. Checa now into the lead. So, Checa, Doohan, criville. It's been changing between the first two, plus nothing Checa. He knows what position he's in. He doesn't need anything else. Checa comes over the line, but Doohan has got the advantage with 4 laps to go here at Catalunya. Doohan has got it from Carlos Checa. They go through the right and then the left from our helicam. These almost now 3 Honda V4s just ahead of the Yamaha Catalora. Oh, Checa's late on the brakes. Will he keep the advantage as he comes out of the slow hairpin? He does. Just look at Cito Pons on the right-hand side there. He's the team boss. To Carlos Checa, hoping his man is going to win the race, but Doohan has got other ideas about that one for sure. Another lap goes down in the history books, but Doohan is in the lead just at the moment as he tips it in out of the last corner. Doohan is going to win the race ahead of Carlos Checa. Doohan does win the race from Carlos Checa. 3rd position goes to Alex Criville. 4th position just then goes to Luca Cadalora. Well, 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 Alex Criville returns to the podium just behind Carlos Checa, but it's Doohan who got the spoils. He celebrates with the champagnes. The girls have to take cover. Doohan almost now got double the amount of points over 2nd position man Nobuatsu Aoki.
Yeah, I'm very happy because to be in the podium in my home is the best thing. I couldn't imagine in this track after 2 months to be here in the top. For me, it's good to be again in the riding. No?
Yeah, for us it's a good result because 4 races we have 0 points, and for us to ride here and to fight to win all the race with Mike, for us they're very happy, and I have a confidence with this race, and I hope for next races and next year to improve a lot and to finish all the races and to fight for the World Championship.
Well, it's good to finally win it here for sure. You know, we won the first race I ever held here was a Super Prestigio invitation race, and there was a whole bunch of us here. I won that one, but I haven't been able to win an official Grand Prix, and today I was able to do it. I didn't think I was going to. The Spanish guys were really pushing hard, and they always seem to find a little bit extra here, but in the end, in the last few laps, I just put my head down. I made one mistake on the last, second to last lap. My foot slipped off the footrest, and I thought they'd close a bit then, but fortunately enough, I was able to keep the gap.
Welcome to the penultimate round in the 15-round FIM World Motorcycling Championships. We go to Indonesia for the 2nd time in the championship history, just outside the capital city of Jakarta to the circuit of Sentul. Hustle and bustle of Jakarta, the capital city, of course, of Indonesia, and, of course, this whole Asia-Pacific rim bustling full of economic growth, and we come here again with those championships. 2.46 miles is the Sentul circuit. It's about 40 kilometers outside that capital city of Jakarta. Peter Goddard, the Australian reigning world endurance champion for 97 on his Suzuki, that's back on the Lucky Strike Suzuki after, of course, the dismissal of Anthony Gobert. He's riding the bike here this weekend. The last time he rode it was at the Spanish Grand Prix on May the 4th, getting used to a two-stroke again.
The newly paved Sentinel circuit was slippery on Friday, but got better and better as more rubber was put down. The groove got wider, the grip improved, and by Saturday's session, all records were broken. Reigning world endurance champion Peter Goddard stepped in to replace Anthony Gobert and qualified the Lucky Strike Suzuki in 18th place. Goddard will also ride the Suzuki in Australia at the end of the season. Kenny Roberts Jr., Marlboro Team Roberts KRV3, spent Friday's practice session switching back and forth between a lighter and heavier bike as the team searched for grip and sought to learn a racetrack that they had not raced at before. The heavier bike offered a better contact patch. On Saturday, Roberts qualified 13th. Carlos Checa was able to get into the 27s almost immediately on Friday, but then he says he got lost as he was looking for a proper tire. By the time he'd found a tire, the session was over. On Saturday, he improved to 6th. The quickest of the Yamahas was again Luca Catalora. He's not yet renewed his contract with Red Bull Yamaha, though his team has been linked both with Suzuki and even Modenas. At 35 years of age, he'll need some strong results at the end of the season in order to ensure a top ride. He was 5th on both Friday and Saturday. Doriano Romboni was once again the best of the V-twin riders, putting his 480 Aprilia in 8th on Friday, then storming to 4th on Saturday for his 4th third-row start of the season. The Aprilia was 12 kilometers an hour down against the fastest V4s, but slightly quicker than the best of the Honda V-twins. After a podium position in Barcelona, still convalescent Alex Criville is feeling confident and aggressive again in spite of the pain in his injured left hand. He was 3rd on Friday, 3rd again on Saturday. One of the more interesting rumors circulating in the paddock links Repsol Honda's Tadayuki Okada with Team Movistar Honda Pons for next season. Okada, after riding the 180-degree Screamer version of the NSR 500, was back on the Big Bang version for Indonesia and felt more at home. He was 2nd in both days of qualifying. Mick Doohan, Repsol Honda, needed one more pole position to set a new FIM record for most poles in a single season. He arrived in Indonesia working on a string of 10 in a row and was on the pole again. Even though the title was decided some races ago, Mick is keeping the pressure on and giving nothing away.
Onto the 500 race first. Here we are, Michael Doohan on that pole position just on the right-hand side of your screen there. 30 laps to complete. Remember, it's 2.5 miles per lap here. Lap time of just about 1 minute 25. Doohan was quickest in qualifying, just ahead of his own teammate at Tadeo Okada, and then 3rd position man Alex Criville. Doriano Romboni on the Aprilia V-twin finishes off that 1st row. Yamaha of Cadalora, Checa, Nobuo Atsuaoki and Norik Abe in 8th position. Abe is a good starter, even when he's further down the grid. He's creeping, he does get a good start. Oh, Romboni from 4th position, he's nowhere. He's already gone to the back of the pack, but at the front of it, it's going to be Tadeo Okada that leads. Okada leads now from Michael Doohan just about as they come into turn 2, but Doohan number 1 is not going to wait forever. He's already into the lead now. Okada down to 2nd position. Well, Okada was in the lead there for just about, what was it? About 100 yards. Doohan leads from Okada, from Alex Criville, but it's not Criville in 3rd now. Luca Cadalora, number 3 on his Yamaha, now in 3rd position. There is Jerry Burgess. He's the crew chief for Michael Doohan on pit wall, and he sees his man in the lead. Alex Criville, though, is up in the 3rd place. So it's Doohan, Okada, Criville, Cadalora, and Norik Abe. He has got a good start. He is in 4th position back there. There was Romboni. He was almost at the dead last, but he's managed to make up some places on that 1st lap. Over the line we go again. We have still got Doohan from Okada in 2nd, number 7, and then number 2 is 3rd position man Alex Criville. There then is number 8 Carlos Checa. He's in 4th, Cadalora in 5th. Now that's Alex Criville's pit crew in the Repsol Honda pit, and they're watching actually Tadeo Okada, their own teammate, take the lead away from Michael Doohan. Well, we've seen this before in 1997 where Michael Doohan has almost let people through deliberately as a way of judging where they're quick on the track, and likewise judging where they're slow. He can then try and go in for the kill. Oh, Alex Barros, he's not going any further. He retires from the Indonesian Grand Prix. They're looking at the steering column, and indeed he says in that international body language, something wrong with the steering. He's out of the race. Back at the front, though, it's still Doohan and Okada battling it out with criville in third. This now is a battle for fourth position, and there is sixth position man, Norik Abe. 16 laps to go. Okada's looking good. Doohan is also looking good. Criville's losing time, though, in that third position. But look at the ginormous gap back to the fourth position man, Carlos Checa. Nobuo Aoki in fifth, number 18, and then the Yamaha of Abe. There is a very lonely Takuma Aoki circulating in seventh position so far. Luca Cadalora, though, he's coming to the pits mysteriously. He's out of the race. He's got some sort of a problem with his Yamaha. He's going no further here at the circuit of Sentul. Doohan, though, he's back up into the lead. Okada now back down to second place. Well, Okada, he finished second to Doohan at the German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, and he's getting closer and closer and closer every race, every lap, and it's now just with 2 races to go in the 1997 season. Okada's desperate for a win, if only to sleep better over the winter. Oh, we saw somebody going, it was Alex Criville. Somebody was going deep into the gravel, and you can see that there's nobody behind Okada now. There it is. It's Alex Criville. He joins now back in 6th position. Alex Criville goes from 3rd to 6th position in one maneuver as Borja also comes into the pit on his L500. He's a retiree from the 500 race. Another one out of the race. 10 laps to go. They're clicking away. This is the battle for 3rd, though. It's Abe. Abe's up into a podium position on his rainy Yamaha, and he's fighting hard. He's trying to keep Carlos Checa behind him, and indeed he is succeeding. There is Jean-Michel Bale. The Frenchman retires from the race off this 3-cylinder Medenas Roberts run bike. New bike for this year, remember, but it's just not really had quite the results they expected. 8th was its best finishing position. Anyway, there is the Yamaha of Abe, still battling hard there. He's in that 3rd position. He's trying, and in fact now 4th is Nobuatsu Aoki, and 5th is Alex Criville. Criville comes from 6th to 5th. He takes Carlos Checa, his fellow countryman, for 5th position, so indeed he takes 4th now. Nobuo Aoki is demoted by Alex Criville to 4th position. Norik Abe is battling it out hard. Oh, sliding that rear wheel as he comes out of the corner. But this is the battle for the lead, though. It's Okada. Okada goes into the lead. Doohan in 2nd place. This is a battle hard. Okada's got the advantage just with a few laps to go here. Okada number 7. He's got Doohan right behind him, but Okada's trying hard. He's trying. He is a real trier. Remember, this is his first year on a Honda V4. Doohan is trying to fight back. He is. Doohan now comes up into the lead. He demotes Okada down another place. This is not a battle really for points. It's a battle of wits between these two. They're both in the same team, and Okada knows he can beat Doohan. He's in the lead. Okada retakes Michael Doohan for the lead. Okada is in the lead, but Doohan is trying hard. He's trying hard to get back at him. Okada's going to give it a big handful. Okada's going to come over the line, and Okada's done it. Okada wins his first 500 Grand Prix in tremendous style ahead of Michael Doohan. Doohan's pit crew on pit wall give him a warm round of applause. There you have it. Okada wins by just under 0.07 of a second. Criville, a bold and brilliant 3rd after running off the track. Nobuatsu Aoki and Norik Abe, 4th and 5th position. Well, Okada will treasure this. Only the 4th ever Japanese rider to win a 500 Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff from the Japanese rider. So there's your championship. Doohan unassailable lead. He's won the championship already, but Okada is back in 2nd ahead of Aoki.
I was in the front trying to well, with a group with Okada and mick, but I made a mistake, and then I tried to catch him, and I went out, and I was too difficult to catch Okada.
Well, yeah, you couldn't win them all, but that's the way it runs.
How was today's race, this last lap? What do you think?
A little bit desperate, I guess, but he got the better of me, and congratulations to him.
Incredible, so fantastic. I'm very happy because middle of the race, my tire is a little bit big slide from the mick. We stay, second